and welcome to the HS Game Time Live Blitz. I'm Pep Fernandez, live at Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona for our Wednesday show. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to catch up with Redlands swimmer Kyle Gornay as he goes for not the section record, not the state record, which he already has, the national high school record. And there's a lot of big names in USA swimming that he could pass. So we'll talk to Kyle Gornay. We'll break down the baseball and softball league title races. And of course, we're going to talk about Roosevelt football this week. We've got head coach Tony Barile here and some of his players also joining us. So, Coach, let's get right into it. You guys had a good year last year, but you're on the outside looking into the playoffs. I mean, it's just one of those, when you play in the Inland Division, it's tough to, get a spot in there. And what was it about last year that, you had some success and you saw some guys really develop? You had some big names last year.
I think we're really going in the right direction. This league, the Big 8 League, is one of the premier leagues in Southern California, if not the nation. We're playing against the Coronas and the Santiagos and Norcos, the Centennials of life, week in and week out. We really just have to step up our game. And we were one game out of the playoffs last year. We needed to beat one of the three that got in from our league, or we needed to beat Marietta Valley. We were just right there. So we put in a ton of time this offseason, and we believe that we'll be right there again this year, fighting for that playoff spot.
You've got some guys coming back. You've been in spring ball a couple of weeks. Do you like what you see so far? I know it's early, but you like what you see?
Most definitely. I feel like in the Big 8, the biggest difference from other leagues around, in my opinion, having been at a few other schools, is I believe that the size of the lines is really where the difference is. The last couple of years, they're so big up front at Norco, and all three of the, 4 of the schools, 5 of the schools we talk about in the league are so big, and our linemen really took pride in that this offseason. So we have 4 returning starters on the offensive line, 4 returning starters on the defensive line. We're going to be much bigger and stronger than we have been in the past. Our skill guys are our skill guys. We are, we're as fast as anybody around. So, I like our chances. It looks good so far.
Look at some highlights from last season, and you're talking about those skill guys. We're seeing them on display right here. Joseph Muriel had a great season at quarterback. Where is the quarterback situation right now?
We have 3 guys actually fighting for the quarterback job right now. Christian Hudson has come back from last year. He was our JV quarterback. Then we've had 2 gentlemen that moved into the area that are fighting for the job as well. So it's a good race, and competition is what makes guys better. Especially in this league, you've got to have competition in order to be the best you can be. So it's a good three-man race for us right now.
Let's do a little name dropping. Who are some of the guys that's going to be getting the ball this season? Some of the skill guys coming back.
Well, Jay Brown's our one returning starter at the receiver spot. Jay could play running back. He could play receiver. Chris Byers had a number of carries last year at running back. He's returning also. So those guys right now are the main weapons that we have returning. Newcomers, Quinn Dunzy-Ellis has looked great during spring. Cameron Smith has looked very good. Tyreek Wilson. We have London Harrells coming out of the basketball. Going to play some receiver for us. So we have a number of guys that get the ball.
Now, you just had one of your college showcases.
Yes.
It's becoming very popular where, you go out, you work out, you invite a bunch of college coaches to come check out your guys. How many, did you say like close to 50? Or?
Yeah, I think we had, 48 to 50 college coaches out there. I think there were 38 different colleges represented. We have most of the Pac-12 was there. We had Yale was there, Navy was there, Stanford. I mean, we had who's who of colleges out there at practice. It's a great opportunity for our guys just to showcase their talents and their abilities. Our job is to help them grow into better young men. But at the same time, everything we can do to help kids get on to the next level, we want to make sure we're doing that. And we've had a lot of success in the last few years. We have a number of guys playing at the next level, and we want to continue that tradition. So I think we had some guys really do some great things. Evan Tyler already has an offer to San Jose State. Many other colleges looking at him, but Davion Bullock, Jaron Bryant, we have a number of guys that are having a ton of college interest. So we're excited about that.
Do you treat it like a normal workout, or do you have like a special message for you guys? Hey, don't freak out.
Yeah.
Don't look around, put blinders on. Don't worry about who's standing there. I mean, or how do you approach something like that?
What I've decided is I'm going to pay anybody out there who wants to come out. I'll pay you as a part-time job to dress up in a UCLA shirt or USC shirt.
Just to get used to it.
We had the greatest practice ever.
Did you really?
Yes, our guys go out and they're crisp, they're sharp. You would think that the stadium was packed, and we're playing Centennial or Santiago that night. Our guys were sharp, crisp, flying around. We do prepare for it. We try to put our kids in the best situations to look good and to be successful. But at the same time, the college coaches get to see them, good and bad, during their practice situations.
I'll buy a polo of every single Pac-12 school.
Right,
And I'll just tell you my fee, and I'll come out at least once a week.
That sounds good. We're going to have to put a mustache
sunglasses,
or
yeah, mustache,
yeah.
sunglasses, a hat, so I can be incognito for you out there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to your guys in just a second. You talked about playing in the Big 8. I mean, these guys got to be super pumped because you know you're going against the best, right? I mean, you're battle tested.
Yep.
You know for sure that you're going against some of the best players, not maybe in Southern California, the nation. I mean, the best.
No, most definitely. And you know what's exciting is these guys know that that they are going to compete against teams that are sending guys to college on a regular basis, sending guys to the pros. We saw Will Sutton go into the pros this last year. So this year. So they're going against the very best. And you know what our motto is right now? What we're trying to do? We're trying to make sure our guys understand that we have to be the very best, obviously, on our campus to be able to start, but we have to start shooting for being the very best in the league. We have to start shooting for being first team All-State, being first team, because we don't want to be fourth place all of the time. I mean, our goal is to win league. Our goal is to win a CIF championship. We don't want to stay fourth. We don't want to battle for second and third all the time. So in order to do that, we have to make sure our guys understand what type of competition they're going against. And we know Centennial's out there. We know these guys are out there and how great they are. But our guys have to start working so that they can be better than those guys at some point.
Speaking of Centennial, there's a gentleman right here at Adrenaline. He's got a Cleveland Browns hat. He's like, hey, I'm Brandon McGee's dad.
Nice.
And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, how's Brandon? Living it up with the Browns.
Most definitely.
With Cleveland Browns, a Centennial guy.
Actually,
But
a Browns fan.
Yeah, well, he is now.
I'm actually a Brown fan.
Oh,
as
are
well.
you really?
Yeah.
A Cleveland Brown fan?
Yeah,
Well,
my family's from Cleveland, so I have to say hi.
Yeah, you should. His name's Terry.
Okay.
Terry McGee. So
nice.
there you go.
Nice.
Coach, I had the pleasure of my first day on the job meeting you.
Yes.
It was when you were at Summit, I guess 3 football seasons ago.
Yes.
I live my life in football seasons. You probably do as well, not years, but football seasons. And it was my first day on the job, and they're like, let's go out to Summit. I'm like, honestly, I had no clue what color you guys were, your uniform, what league you played in, who was your star players.
Yeah.
I got to meet Dante Dion.
Yep.
He is doing all right for himself.
2-year
Jamal
starter.
Williams,
Yep, 2-year
BYU,
starter.
and yourself. Looking back at some of the guys that you've coached, and you had some great ones last year as well, skill guys. I mean, where do some of these guys rank with the guys you've coached before?
Well, as a coach, I've been truly blessed. We've got to coach some neat kids and having a bunch of great young men. We have a number of young men that have gone on and had a ton of success at college level. Like you talk about, Jamal Williams is a 2-year starter right now at BYU at running back, and Dante Dion's at Boise State doing well. But we had a number of other guys. Jameel Irving's at UTEP, and these are all former Summit guys. But this past year, even Elijah Mitchell from Roosevelt went up to Nevada and did some great things up there. Marcus Williams is going to go to Utah and make a ton of contribution up there. So we've just been very, very blessed. As far as these guys are concerned, they're getting bigger and stronger. And nowadays, in order to get those college scholarships and to be able to compete, you have to. Jaron Bryant, our defensive end, he's very similar to the mold of a number of guys that I've seen go on to the next level. Josh Shirley is a name at Kaiser a number of years ago who plays at Washington right now. He has the size and strength and speed. I can't say he's Josh Shirley yet. Yeah. I hope he will be, but very similar. Davion Bullock is a big physical corner, similar to Charles Okonkwo that we have up at from Summit that went up to Oregon State. Can take on the bigger receivers. And Kevin Cho is really the epitome of why we do what we do as far as coaching is concerned. I had a young man that went to West Point and graduated from West Point. I've had guys go on and have successful careers, and Cho is going to play college football, but more importantly, he's a 4.2 GPA kid that's doing all the things right, and the coach is going to be lucky to have him at the next level. He's a 3-year starter for us. So these guys are right there.
That's a college coach's dream. You don't have to worry about the grades. They come in, they
Exactly.
qualify, they're all good. Coach, why don't you, you kind of already did, but why don't you kind of introduce the 3 guys we have here while I spin the camera around?
Okay.
So who do we have? You go ahead, you just have a seat. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Well, on the with the arm, actually wrist, is Davion Bullock. Started at corner for us last year and looks to start this year at corner, and will play a bunch of receiver for us. Played receiver for us some last year. We have Jaron Bryant, who played defensive end for us last year and the year before, so he'll be a 3-year starter. And then Kevin Cavalichu, who is our center, actually probably our MVP on offense. We named all the receivers and the skill guys and the quarterback, but really, if we don't have that center making the calls and doing what he does, then we would be in trouble. So Kevin will actually be a 3-year starter at center for us.
You said it. All starts up front. You want to
Yes.
get bigger. You want to get stronger to
Most
compete in the
definitely.
Big 8 lead. So we'll start with Kevin down here. Ooh, I just shocked you. Sorry, bro. So Kevin, what are you trying to do? Get stronger, put on some weight, so you can push some guys around in the Big 8 league this season.
This year, yeah, we're looking very strong. Our offensive linemen have really developed into contenders in this league. We're hitting the weight room really hard, like 4 days a week. The offensive linemen work 6 days a week, including on Saturdays. And the D-line is just great returners, and they got a lot of experience with them.
Now, I wish I had this problem, but I'm going to ask you if you do. Can you eat whatever you want? Are you on this, hey, I can eat whatever I want, I'm trying to add a couple LBs, it's okay if I want to have a little midnight snack? Are you on one of those diets right now?
Yeah, I eat whatever I want, but I stay away from soda. Soda kills me during practice. So,
I got you,
yeah.
I got you.
It's all water.
It's all water, huh? A little Gatorade maybe?
Yeah, Gatorade all the time.
All right, let's move down the line. Let me ask you guys about the college showcase. Were you out there with all those college scouts, taking a peek, see what Roosevelt has this season?
Yes, sir. I was out there.
How'd it go? What'd you think of it?
Oh yeah, it went good. I like how like Coach said, it was a very well practice, a very good practice, and yeah, a lot of people were just trying their hardest. That's just all you could ask for, and on and off the field that day was just real good, technical wise.
Now, Coach was saying maybe the best workout he's seen you guys go through in a while. Did you go through the showcase, or you did? So this happened after the showcase?
Yeah, a couple weeks before we had a collision on the field, so I just got checked out today, but I've been playing recently, so yeah. I was out at the showcase. It was a real good practice. Everybody was running around, playing physical, hard, running, and just trying to impress the scouts. We need to do that. If we can do that consistently, we could be a big contender in our league.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this, Coach, but it was like the off season before you started at Roosevelt, I came out and interviewed you, and you said, I'm glad I'm here. We want to challenge for league titles, but let's look at that big picture. We want to be like Centennial and competing for state championships every season.
Yes.
Guys like this, you got to feel good, right?
Most definitely. We talk about character all the time, and these guys are strong character young men. More importantly, that's why I brought them today. They're all very, very good on the football field, but these are three guys that really show who we are and what we're about. We try to make sure we're great charactered young men, doing the right things on campus, making sure we're taking care of our grades, doing those types of things, because we're not Centennial. We're not even Norco and Santiago yet. Those guys have been doing this for a long, long time. Matt does a great job, and the other coaches do a great job with their programs. So we have got to be a little bit different. So we've got to stress the little things. We've got to really pick up the work ethic. We've got to work 6 days a week. We've got to, make sure that we're doing all the little things right, team building wise, character wise, our family, play as a family, because, we have a mountain to climb for sure.
Speaking of that family culture, you guys all get along. You feel like, when you're in the locker room or as a team, it's like a brotherhood, right? You're battling for one another.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. We will give each other's lives up for each other. That's how much we care about each other.
And when you go into the Big 8 League, you never get a night off. You're playing against some of the very best teams. But that's exciting, right? You want to play the very best and see where you guys stand up, right? Talk about, playing some of those, as Coach just, listed all those great teams, beginning with Centennial.
Yeah, a lot of them are very good contenders, as they've shown in the past, but this year we're really good on that top spot. We're Centennial, not to call anybody out, but we're gunning for the top. No 2, no 3, but definitely not 4 as we've been. But yeah, top spot's where it should be.
What are some of the team building stuff you guys do? I know I follow you on Twitter and stuff, and I see pictures. You guys are climbing mountains and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. What are some of the team building stuff you guys do to get a little bit closer as a team?
Well, today at practice, to get to know each other, since we have transfers coming in, the seniors and the juniors and the sophomores, we all got in circles and we learned each other's names. So, if we don't know each other's names, we can't bond as a family. You have to know your brother's names. So, we found out each other's names. Over the summer, we're going to go on junior trips, senior trips, sophomore trips, and just bond. I know last year for the junior trip, we went to the beach. We paintballed, we played on teams against each other, and we just all bonded and had a good time.
That's awesome. Let's go down the line and just tell me, what are the keys this season to be successful? Whatever that looks like, 10-0, 6-4, whatever that looks like, but what do you guys need to do to feel like you had a successful season?
I think for us to get a successful season, we have to work hard every day. And no days off during the game. We have to go in there thinking we're the best and we can beat anybody.
Playoffs would be nice, right?
Yeah, sir. Playoffs would definitely be nice. That's in my opinion, that'd be a successful season, making it deep in the playoffs and contending with some of the big schools we're going against.
All right, Kevin. Sorry, I don't mean to have my back to you. I'm trying not to shock you again, but what's your idea of having success in 2014?
Just going out there having fun, just competing with the best of the teams out there, looking for wins, of course. Just want to go out there and make Roosevelt on the map again and set a standard for future classes to come in so they can live up to our expectations.
That's a great approach right there, Coach. I mean,
That's a great job. Can't ask for much more.
Great kids, great players. Let's talk about next season. And there's all this talk that the CIF might move some teams around. You guys could end up in the Pac-5. A lot of these teams, I think Fresno State has that philosophy where play anyone, anywhere, doesn't matter. We could be the little school, you could be the big school, that's fine with us. Thoughts on the possible move to the Pac-5?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. There's a reason that I'm here at Roosevelt High School. First of all, it's the in my mind, it's one of the greatest public schools that I've seen in all of Southern California. We're built for almost 4,500 students, 4,000, 4,200, something like that. We'll be close to capacity next year. They're projecting us to have close to 5,000 students in the next in the nation have that. I know Long Beach Poly has made their living on having 5,000 students. For us, football-wise, it'd be great to have that many students out there. And if that's the case, as far as facilities are concerned and resources, we're right there with everybody else. Now it's just a matter of getting tougher and taking care of it on the field. And so I'm excited. I'm thrilled to death. When I was growing up and played for Redlands High School, we were in the CBL and we played in the black and blue division and played against all those big guys. And the Fontanas and Eisenhowers and had a chance to play against the Crespies and those guys at Blythe. It was something I'll never forget. To have the packed stadiums. I mean, how awesome would it be to be able to play Mater Dei first round, Long Beach Poly second round, St. John Bosco. You're testing yourselves against the very best. And if we're shooting to be the best in our area, if we're doing what we're supposed to do, and we're able to beat a Santiago and Norco and put ourselves in a position to beat a Centennial, there's no reason we can't play with all those teams. So, it's why I'm here. It's what I'm excited about. It's a great opportunity, a great situation, really.
I can't think of a better way to get ready for a Pac-5 playoff game than go through a Big 8 league schedule. I know you've got some great teams going ahead. And if I can be honest, I love your guys' uniforms the best.
Thank you.
I just do. I love the color scheme. And is it something you guys go into it and you kind of ask the kids, what do you guys want to look like when we come out of the tunnel for the first time? I mean, do you ask them or do you say, hey, here's what we're wearing, like it?
You've seen nothing yet, Pep. You're going to have to come out for our first home game.
Really?
Oh, no, you've seen nothing yet. We have new uniforms.
Okay.
We're going orange with navy shoulders. We're actually having a two-colored helmet. So we're going to have orange on one side, navy on the other.
Wow.
It's something, different, unique, new. We'll wait to see if it looks good or not, but the guys are gonna rock it, and if we're winning, anything looks good. But I have enjoyed the navy and orange. It's a great color scheme for sure.
I just talked to the great Jim Walker over at Redlands not too long ago, and I said, Coach, are you guys gonna have a new look? Redlands has that traditional look, and he said, well, Pep, I can't tell you exactly what the Terriers will look like when we run out in week 0 or week 1 or whatever, but I guess they're adding some camo. So look out for Redlands as well, right?
Redlands, the great Jim Walker's the one who gave me my start at the high school
really?
level. So that's how old or young I am. Let's say that. No, they do it right. They're very traditional and been able to back it up over there. So
do you keep an eye on the Terriers a little bit?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I keep an eye on the whole IE because I've been around the whole IE. So I have a ton of friends at all types of different schools and different leagues, and it's always fun to see how they're doing, and where they're at. But really, we need to focus on what we're doing and try to get better for sure.
Well, let me ask you this: when you see a team like Centennial go so deep into the playoffs, I mean that speaks well for the Big 8 League, Inland Empire football. I mean, everybody, right? I mean, they're representing us and showing us the kind of caliber of football out here, right?
Most definitely. And I even say this, and some of these things probably shouldn't be broadcast, but I have a strong feeling about this. Matt has done a great job over there. He's been there for a long time. I've competed against him at 2 different schools. Had a great game, a couple great opportunities. They've been doing a great job, and every school I've been at, we've had a team that we've had to go after, and we've been fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to break some records of different teams. And so Centennials is obviously the goal. And when I say I see people transferring out to Servite to Bosco to Sarah to all these places.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you don't stay in the Inland Empire. First of all, stay at home.
Yeah.
Go to Roosevelt, go to wherever your home school is.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to go there, go somewhere like a Centennial or a Norco go somewhere like that's successful. I don't know why we're traveling out of the area, because we have some of the best football in the nation played right here. No doubt about it.
Now, I was at your game at Summit when you guys won a CIF ring.
Yes.
We got a little visitor here. Do you bring the ring out at all as motivation,
No.
or is it something you just kind of tuck it away? And
I wore it first time or two because I don't know how many of these guys knew who I was, and it doesn't. The Summit ring looks great on our mantle. It's something I'll be proud of, and I'm very, very excited to have that, and nobody could take that away from us, and had a ton of great kids and a great experience. But now I'm a Mustang. And
go at Roosevelt. Please tell me Tracy's treating you well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tracy actually, Tracy's dad, Ron Edmondson, was my freshman high school coach, because I grew up here and went to Norte Vista High School as a freshman. And Ron was was my high school freshman coach, and then Ron was also the AD for me when I was at La Sierra. And but man, Tracy's as good as you get as an AD, and Jeremy Goins, our principal. You can't ask for much more. He was the offensive coordinator, assistant head coach, whatever whatever his title was at Centennial. He was right there with Matt for many years, and so he knows. He's our principal, and he knows what it's.
Players that maybe in 2 or 3 years we should be looking for in the NFL draft. I mean, like a Dante Dion or Jamal Williams.
Well, Jamal Williams for sure. He has the size and the speed, and has been doing great things up at BYU. And then Dante Dion, I was actually talking to his coaches when they were out visiting, and they said he's probably the opportunity maybe to play at the next level. We'll see what happens. So there's a couple guys right there that definitely want to watch out for.
And maybe some guys from Roosevelt from last season as well. I mean, that Marcus Williams. If I was going to single someone out, I mean, he had a great senior season. Well, great kid too.
Yes, both Marcus and Elijah have the measurables to do great things. Good size, thick corner, and really flies around. So I can see him have an opportunity for sure. And then Marcus. Marcus is just an athlete. Marcus, when he went out to basketball, could have been one of our best basketball players if that's what he did full time.
The great Tony Barile joining us here live on the Blitz from Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. Coach, I appreciate it very much. I know you guys are so busy in season, so a lot of teams do Wednesday night practices, so we appreciate you taking the time to stop by.
It's an honor.
You guys are awesome too. Really appreciate it. Keep coaching line for me, okay? All right. Thank you, Coach. You appreciate it. You're good. You guys can take off.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Tony Barile and the Roosevelt Mustangs stopping by here at Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona to kind of talk about their season next year, and we're expecting big things for the Mustangs in the before we move on, though, we heard from Coach saying, he's coached a couple guys in the last couple of years that could end up in the NFL draft. It's the last NFL draft just a week ago. It was really a banner draft for the Inland Empire. A lot of local guys selected. In fact, 6 in all. Let's pull up the graphic now. And you out of Arizona State. He's a Centennial guy. Carl Bradford, a Norco guy, out of Arizona State as well. He goes in the 4th round to the Packers. Defensive back Nat Berhe out of Colton High School, the 5th round to the Giants. He played at another Rancho Verde Mustang, wide receiver Quincy Enunwa, 6th round to the Jets. And finally, Will Smith out of Notre Dame, a linebacker. Guys who weren't selected in the NFL draft, but they were still picked up via free agency. So we could see a lot of local IE guys signing on with NFL teams, and more so going into training camp and sticking with these teams and finding a long-term job. So once again, we got to thank Adrenaline Athletic Training here in Corona. They're getting better by leaps and bounds by every season. So it's great to see them doing so well and taking some time to join us here on the Blitz. Now we're moving on to swimming because it is a big week. It's the CIF Southern record in the 100 butterfly and also the 100 backstroke. But Kyle tells me he will focus at Loma Linda University's Aquatic Center, the Drayson Center, to talk about the Division I finals coming up. He has his prelims on Thursday morning, and the big finals would be on Saturday night, and we'll all be watching as Kyle Gornay goes for national high school records. Here's my interview with Kyle Gornay. Well, I'm Pep Fernandez for High School Game Time, standing next to the great Kyle Gornay from Redlands High School. What's up, Kyle? I'm not going to leave you hanging here. So, I mean, gosh, I've been covering you for a couple of years now. I can't believe you're a senior. You've gone back-to-back in the 100 fly and the 100 backstroke, but it sounds like you're going to mix it up for the CIF Finals coming up this week at RCC, right?
Yeah, actually did last year leading off in the relay, so we'll see about that. We'll see how that goes.
So the 100 free, is that something that you've been kind of eyeing the whole time? Like, you know what, when I'm a senior, I'd like to go for it, see what
watching the wall and seeing that, I was like, I need to give it one more chance. And I think this year I wanted to go individual because it's just something I want to do.
State records. I mean, we're talking about national marks too, right? I mean, those are some of the things you would like to accomplish with this being your
sprint-wise. And I know I'm really close to the CIF record. I know the high school record's a little bit, no, actually, I'm definitely going to turn it on. I know my coach actually asked me earlier, hey, what's your approach for Thursday? And I said, I'm just going to go out hard because, CIF is going to start fast and end fast. It's how swimming should be.
Against yourself at this point? Are you kind of pushing yourself to, PR in this?
I'd have to say it's half and half. Yeah. I know there's going to be of it is definitely going to be just pushing myself, working on different things like underwater, like I've always done in the past few years. And since it's hundreds and definitely the 100 free, I'm going to have to work on, faster turns, faster breathing, instead of, long breathing, take a quick one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's freestyle. It's always off the block. The fastest is going to who's going to win the race. So.
And those are some of the things you'll maybe try to focus on Thursday morning in prelim. So Saturday night rolls around, no errors, no miscues.
Yep, definitely. That's something I'm going to work on.
All right, so you're headed to the Cal Bears for college, going to Cal Berkeley. Long term, what are the events that you want to focus on, post high school?
For college, I probably want to work on the 2 free, the 100 free, 100 back, and 100 fly. I think those are my top events, and I think for college, it's not just a great overall scheme of events. It's also just a way for me to work on underwater. Because I know with Cal they really work on underwaters, and that's one of the best things about Cal is they really work on every detail as far as technique. So,
do you think the underwater portion separates the good swimmers from the great swimmers?
Definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people have said on the pool deck, swimming has become an underwater sport. Literally, like they say, you're faster underwater than on top. And I'm, a true believer in that. And you can just see with Tom Shield at Berkeley. He's got the best underwater along with Michael Phelps. And if you've seen any videos, it's proof. So yeah.
All right, so you've already gone to the Olympic trials once, and in 2016, is that a reachable goal? Go back to the trials and maybe punch your ticket to Brazil. I mean, is that something that you've kind of set your sights on as well?
I think with 2 years of college training, it's definitely going to prepare me. Dave Durden, who's the head coach at Cal, definitely he has the background, Olympic background, to help me get there, and a few other guys on the team. I think personally it is a shot for me, hopefully taller, bigger, with the weight training and everything. And I think mentally I'll be more prepared because I know the 2012 was more of like a relaxed kind of feel, but now it's kind of older you get, the more serious it's going to get. So
the first time around it's kind of like, hey, I'm just happy to be here. Look, it's Michael Phelps and all these guys, and now it's like, hey, I'm on the level with these guys.
Yeah.
What can I do against the best competition, right?
Yeah, it is. When I went there in 2012, it was kind of like, shaking hands, taking it all in, but no, with 2016, it's going to be a whole nother ball game. I mean, the Olympians are not going to be swimming just, what they used to swim. They're going to swim new events that they've never done before. So it's going to make it tougher for other people who have trained, the 100 fly forever, So it's going to be very competitive. I guarantee in 2016, it's going to be unreal. So.
All right, I'm sure you spend hours upon hours in the pool training and practicing, but when Kyle Gornay's not in the pool, what are some of the things you enjoy? I mean, do you have other hobbies besides swimming?
I think as far as hobbies, I actually like to be outdoors a lot, whether it's just ultimate frisbee, mountain biking.
The beach, I'm assuming?
The beach, oh yeah, definitely the beach. I've actually kind of started surfing a little bit, not the best, but it's something I enjoy. I'm just really taking in, just kind of being independent as far as doing those things because, once I leave for college, that's how it's going to be. And I'm just trying to get into that, put my foot in the doorway, so, yep.
All right, so Saturday night, RCC, your last time, representing Redlands High School. Best case scenario, throw out maybe some numbers, or best case scenario for you, Kyle, on Saturday night. How are you going to finish out?
Saturday night, definitely for our first relay, it'd be a nice place in the top 3. We're seated up there really good. 100 free, goal would be a 42 high. If not, 43 low would be awesome. As far as 100 backstroke, I'd like to go in the 46. 46 range would be awesome. And for the last relay, I'd love to place in the top 3 again. If we do that in that sequence and those times, I honestly think we could place in the top 5 at least, with our high school, which we haven't done in, 4 to 5 years. So that'd be incredible.
Do you know all the national marks? So like as soon as you touch the wall and you look up at the board, like you know exactly. Oh my gosh, I got it, or I was this close. You know.
I think with CIF records, I know it more. I recognize it more easily. And I've broken a few, so it's kind of like I look at the wall. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, time to move on to the next event. You know, just don't get stuck on one. As far as national titles, they're a bit fuzzy, but I know some of them, especially the 2 free, was held by Tom Shields, was a 132.8, which was incredible. So it's just little records here you keep in mind, and hopefully push yourself and accomplish those goals.
I know you're gonna be surprised, but I wasn't the greatest swimmer growing up, but. When you break records like what you're doing, and you see a good mark, but you still see areas of improvement, you kind of have that race going through your head still. It's like, man, if I would have just done this at the wall, or like you said, you're underwater. Like if I've just done something just a little bit different, like I could have, shaved a couple more seconds off that time. Do you kind of replay those things in your head, now that you're coming up to your final couple races?
Yeah, I think as far as my final year, it's always about the littlest things. As far as turns, that's a big one. The faster you're off your turns, the faster your race is going to be. And it's just because if you're getting into that wall and with everyone else, you're going to get caught up in the wave. So it's just better to flip, do a few kicks underwater to fight that wave and just pop out. That's going to be a big one for me in that 100 free. That's really it. So, yeah.
All right, so we'll see what Kyle Gornay can do. Saturday night, RCC, the CIF Southern Section Division I Finals. And we'll see if this guy walks away with a couple of national records on Saturday night. All right, so that was the great Kyle Gornay, Redlands High School senior. Had the pleasure of covering him since his sophomore year at Redlands when he burst onto the scene, at least for me. And he's been doing some big things, and I'm sure he'll be putting on a show Saturday night. The D1 Finals start at 5 o'clock at RCC. Now, the diving finals already wrapped up, and on Monday we had the Division II Finals. And for the second straight year, Vista Murrieta's Ryan Rusi captured the CIF championship. Rusi had a chance to do it in front of his 93-year-old grandmother, and he said that was very special for him. Every time he wins a big medal, he likes to put the medal around his grandmother's neck and let her kind of enjoy the celebration, enjoy the moment with him. And Rusi is now heading to the University of Wyoming to continue his diving career. This is a former gymnast who turned to diving and now has a college scholarship and doing very well for himself. So let's see Ryan Rusi competing at the CIF Finals and hear from him after winning his second straight Division II championship. For the second consecutive year, Vista Murrieta diver Ryan Rusi is your CIF Southern Section Division II champion. The former gymnast turned diver won the title Monday morning at RCC. I caught up with the back-to-back CIF champion after his big win.
Yeah, I had a good meet. Not an amazing meet. I had a couple dives that got away from me, but all in all, it was a solid meet, and it was a great way to cap off my senior year and to finish it with the second CIF championship. That was awesome.
So you also won last year?
I did win last year, yes.
So coming into your senior season, obviously you wanted to go back-to-back, right? You couldn't finish out your high school career without doing that?
Yeah. There was definitely some added pressure this time because the people at my school recognized me more. They expected more of me, so the school did pressure me, but I still held my own, and I still did okay.
Hey, Ryan, how did you get into diving? How did you first get started?
That's an interesting story. I was talking to my dad, and we share my llamas for during summer for just extra work. And the swim coach at Vista Murrieta knew I was a gymnast, and he wanted to recruit me, and I was always saying, no, I'm never going to do diving. It has a Speedo. It's to my head. I don't want to do it. But then I just got to think about it and realized I could actually get a varsity letter as a freshman because of diving. So I got started because of that. And then when gymnastics fell through, it just all clicked and it worked out for the best. And so I just put all my I quit gymnastics eventually and put all my focus into diving.
A lot of what you learned in gymnastics, controlling your body, I mean, does it apply to diving? Did it work out well that way?
It definitely does help when you do gymnastics before. You develop that kinesthetic sense and knowing where your body is. So it's definitely transferable over to diving.
And what's next for you? Going to college and all that?
Yes. In the fall, I'll be attending the University of Wyoming. And then there I'm hoping to make it to NCAA Nationals and qualify for the 2016 and 2020 Olympic trials.
So you want to be representing the red, white, and blue. You want to go to the Olympics in this.
That's an overall goal. If I don't make the Olympic team but make it to trials, it's still I made it to Olympic trials, so that's great. But I just want to keep on being successful and diving in. Anything above that, I couldn't be happier.
And finally, I think your dad was saying after you win a medal or something like that, your grandma gets to wear it. Is that your grandma or great-grandma? I think she said she's like 94 or something, right?
She's my grandma. She's 93. She's going to be turning 94 this year.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, it's always a thing that I've done. I've always given her my medal to wear. It's just,
Is she a big fan? I mean, did she come to all your meets?
Yes. She says the reason that she's still alive is because me and my sister keep her so active with all the sporting events. So that's, I guess it's a good me, and I love her so much. I'm just glad that she shows up to everything.
I'm Pep Fernandez for HS Game Time and PE.com. So congrats to Ryan Rusi from Vista Marietta on 2 straight CIF Division II championships. Quite the accomplishment for Rusi. So the swimming and diving championships wrap up this weekend at RCC, with the baseball postseason just getting ready to start on Monday. The playoff brackets will be coming out, but a lot still being decided this final week of the regular season. I caught up with Kyle Glaser, our baseball guru, the big ticket, KG, and we talked about which league title races are coming down to the final game and which are some of these teams that are on the playoff bubble. They need a couple wins in this final week to secure that spot into the CIF postseason. So here's Kyle and I breaking it down.
All right, Kyle. So this is it. Final week of the regular season for high school baseball. A couple league title races still up in the air with 2 games to go, including the games on Wednesday. Let's start in the Citrus Belt League. What do you got there?
Well, Redlands, East Valley, and Yucaipa still are battling it out for the Citrus Belt League title. We can see an outright champ. We can see a co-championship. Still to be decided. Rev has the tiebreaker advantage for that #1 playoff seed, which, as we know, is very valuable come playoff time, getting that first-round home game guaranteed. We'll see what happens, though. Yucaipa has a chance if they can win out and Rev drops a game to Ike, which is unlikely but possible. Then Yucaipa can take it all to themselves. Just got to see how it shakes out.
So the Wildcats won 2 of 3 against the T-Birds?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so Citrus Valley did the same against Harupa Hills in the Mountain Valley, winning 2 of 3 against the Spartans. But right now they're even, I think 11-2, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, really, the Citrus Belt and the Mountain Valley leagues are the only leagues where you really don't have at least a shared league title clinched, I should say. So right now, Citrus Valley, they've got the inside track, but if they drop their next 2 and Harupa Hills wins their next 2, boom, Harupa Hills has the outright league title. So these last 2 games are very important for those Redlands area leagues and San Bernardino County leagues.
I love it when it comes down to the wire. These teams are playing for league titles, but it's not all about league titles. Some of these teams just want to get into the playoffs at this point, right?
And we see it every year. Some team just sneaks in and then goes on a great run. And we have a couple teams still trying to get an automatic playoff berth. Move down into the Southwestern League. Marietta Valley and Temecula Valley tied for 3rd place at 8-6 in league. 1 game to go, and they play each other. Winner gets in automatic. The loser will likely get a wild card berth, but at the same time, you kind of want to get that automatic, be able to sleep a little better Sunday night. You also have the Inland Valley League. Rancho Verde, if they had beaten Arlington yesterday, would have clinched a spot in the playoffs, no questions asked. Arlington won, kept their season alive. Now Arlington has the inside track. If they win Thursday, they get the 4th and final playoff spot out of the Inland Valley League.
I like it in the Southwestern League where at least you have your own destiny in your own hands. I mean, you go head-to-head with the team that you're trying to knock out. But what about bubble teams? I mean, there's a wild card round as well in the playoffs.
There absolutely is. Beaumont and San Jacinto out in the Mountain Pass League, they're both 12-11 with 1 game to play, which basically means that no matter what happens, they're going to be eligible for a wild card berth. As long as you finish 500 or above, you have a chance. King in the Big 8, I think, has a very good chance if they can beat Roosevelt in their finale today, just because King will then have 15 wins, including, over Cajon, over Rev, over Victor Valley. I mean, some good quality wins on King's schedule, but I think they need to beat Roosevelt today just to feel safe. And really, those are the big wild card teams. I think, we could see maybe a surprise here or there, but I think Beaumont, San Jacinto, King, and then whoever that 4th place team in the Southwestern League, those are who's really going to get it.
All right, so final week of the season. The brackets come out on, is it Monday?
Monday morning.
All right, Monday morning. Keep it here to HS Game Time because we'll probably be back right here in the studio to break it down for you, right?
Absolutely. Got to make those predictions. And I have to say, it's going to be really, really tight this year. We have a couple of really good teams. Every time I'm doing these rankings, 1 through 7, I mean, all of them are just elite teams. And then really 8 through 10, you can mix and match with the others I put every week. So, I mean, there's, 15, 16 high-quality teams in the Inland Empire this year. I think there's a legitimate chance we could see a champion, someone from the area in a championship game in 5 of the 7 divisions.
All right, so keep that tucked away because on Monday I'm going to ask you championship predictions. Which teams from the IE are going to make that run all the way to a CIF Finals game?
Yeah, got to get my inner fortune teller going. Hey, I correctly picked 4 of the 7 champions last year, so not bad, over half.
Hey, if you're hitting over 500, that's a pretty good day.
Then I have a D1 scholarship.
Yeah. All right, so look for more from Kyle Glaser all this week as we wrap up the regular season, and then also on Monday as we see who's going to the playoffs and who's playing who.
All right, so you heard it. Kyle and I planning a little something on Monday when all the CIF brackets come out. So we'll kind of give you some of the matchups. So please come back to HS Game Time on Monday morning, and Kyle and I will jump in the studio and kind of tell you who's playing who when all the baseball matchups are decided. Like we said, still some games with some importance being played in this final week of the regular season. So we will see what happens. Well, on the softball diamond, much of the attention still focused on the Big 8 League, and for good reason. It seems like the Big 8 League always seems to have at least one, sometimes 2 teams punch their ticket to the CIF Southern Section Division I championship game. And this year, King was in the driver's seat for the Big 8 League title. They got some bad news last week. Star pitcher Alexis Asario sprained her ankle, and on Monday, Asario on Twitter had said she's on crutches and out 2 to 6 weeks. So not only is Asario injured, but Brooke Harrison was also injured in that same game last week. So, our prayers go out to Asario and Brooke Harrison. Hopefully they can get better. And who knows, maybe if King makes a deep playoff run, we can see both of those players back in action. We'd love to see King at full strength make a run at that CIF championship game. We can tell you, though, today via Twitter that King defeated Roosevelt by a final score of 3-2. The King was down 2-1 in the 7th inning, but the Wolves came back to score 2 to come away with that 1-run win against Roosevelt. So King finishes the Big 8 League season at a mark at 8-2. Norco could also finish at 8-2. The Cougars taking on Santiago. And at the time of this show, we're doing it live right now, and Norco is leading Santiago by a score of 8-3 in the 5th inning. So that game's still in the works, but right now, Norco in control. If Norco wins, they would also finish 8-2 with King atop the Big 8 League. So we'll see how that pans out. Now we're moving on to track. The CIF prelims are coming up on Saturday in Division 1. A guy you should look for, Corona's Elvis Pompa. He won the Big 8 League championship in the 100 and the 110 hurdles and the 300 hurdles this past week for the Big 8 title there. And when I caught up with Elvis, he had a great story to tell, and we'll let you hear from him because he tells me about, he was on his way to school on his skateboard. He crashed, kind of got his face pretty good, scratched up, and he ended up going to school. The school nurse told him, hey, Elvis, you got to call your mom. You got to go to the hospital and get this checked out. So he did. He went to the hospital, got checked out, came back later that day, and won a pair of Big 8 League championship individual titles in the 110 and 300 hurdles. So Elvis, one to watch this Saturday in the CIF prelims, Division 1 taking place at Trabuco Hill. So here's Elvis winning the Big 8, and also how he had that skateboarding accident on his way to school last week.
School record?
Did you already have the school record, or was that someone else?
No, it was something I was shooting for all season. It just happened to come at league finals. I was hoping for sooner, but it's still great.
But now you'll take it now, right?
Yeah.
So now you move on to the CIF Division 1 prelims next Saturday. What's kind of your goals now going forward?
Trying to qualify. Last year I stopped at CIF prelims. Hopefully going for a low 14.
You think that's what it'll take to move on out of get to the CIF finals and move on?
I'm hoping. Hopefully I get that 14 too. I know I got some good competitors.
I was asking you about the Band-Aid, if you ate it during prelims, but you said it was this morning on a skateboard?
Yeah, I fell this morning and I was in the hospital. I decided I got in this season, I'm not about to lose.
Were you like riding to school or what happened?
Yeah, I was riding to school, trying to get to class, but I guess just fell. Bad luck, but I'm not going to let it get to me.
Did you take yourself to the hospital, or did some friends take you, or your parents, or what
I
happened?
walked to the nurse, then my mom took me to the hospital.
Oh my gosh! And did they say don't run tonight, or what they say, whatever you want to do?
My coach just said, he hates to say this, but just toughen it out. It's league finals, and it's my senior year.
But Elvis, let me ask you about your name, Elvis. I mean, were your parents big fans? I mean, tell me the story behind the name.
Well, I have the same birthday as Elvis, and my dad just went with it.
Oh, you have the same birthday as him?
Yeah.
Do you know any Elvis songs or anything, or not really?
I do, but I'm not much of a singer.
Are you a fan of his, or Elvis?
Kinda, I guess,
Yeah.
but I just don't really listen to him much.
So good luck to Elvis Pompa from Corona High School this Saturday at the CIF prelims. And if you're wondering if his family named him after the Elvis Presley, the answer is yes. Elvis's dad is a huge Elvis Presley fan. And I asked Elvis Pompa if he's also a fan of Elvis Presley. And he said, I know a couple songs. So yes, he is named after the Elvis. But if he wins at CIF, he will be the new Elvis. He will be the Elvis. So good luck to Elvis Pompa on Saturday at the prelims for CIF. And before we go, some big basketball news coming out of King High School. Longtime assistant Jeff Dietz is now the new head coach, replacing Tim Sweeney, who just led the Wolves to a CIF Division 1A championship this season. Sweeney had a ton of success in his 14 years at King. 3 CIF titles, a state championship, and he coached a couple NBA stars, Kawhi Leonard, of course, and also Tony Snell. But Dietz has been at King High School for a while, longtime assistant. He's been there with Sweeney as well. And HS Game Time had a chance to talk to Dietz about this, and he told us, quote, "We have a lot of young talent, and everyone is eager to build on what we did this year. My main message is that it's not about me, it's about doing right by our kids, and that's the goal we'll strive for each and every day." So Jeff Dietz, the new boys basketball coach at King High School. So once again, thank you to Adrenaline Athletic Training. They do a great job hosting the Blitz each and every Wednesday. And next Wednesday, we'll continue our spring football tour. And we're scheduled to have Tockwitz head coach Dennis Gregovich on the show. And hopefully he'll bring a couple players. And Coach Gregovich, if you can't get down here to Adrenaline, I'm going to have to do the interview with my mask, my Dennis Gregovich mask. And I'll do the interview by myself. And you don't want to do that, Coach. That'll be a bad idea. So you got to get down here. You and your goatee, we're going to have a good time. So head coach Dennis Gregovich scheduled to join us on the Blitz next Wednesday. And Coach, don't make me. You got to show up. You're one of our favorites here. We'd love to have you on the show. So anyways, Tockwitz scheduled to be in the house next Wednesday talking about their next football season. So once again, thank you to Tony Barile, the head coach at Roosevelt, and bringing some players down as well. We had a great time. And also a big shout out to Kyle Gornay, allowing me to stop by his practice on Tuesday and drop in there and talk to him for a while, as he could be setting some big time records this Saturday at RCC. To everyone here at Adrenaline, we really appreciate it. You guys are the best. You already know that. They do a great job training up these kids in every single sport, and they let me cozy up in this little corner each and every Wednesday to do the HS Game Time Live Blitz. We will see you again next Wednesday, fingers crossed, with Tockwitz, right here live at 5:30 from Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. See you next time.